Russian President Vladimir Putin is in Korea for a summit with President Park Geun-hye. KBS TV also caught up with Mr. Putin for an interview. Korean researchers have identified a gene that may prevent normal cells from turning cancerous. A group of young Korean culture fans from Europe staged a traditional performance in Jeonju. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Wednesday, November 13th. I'm Luke Clary. Russian President Vladimir Putin is in Korea for a summit with President Park Geun-hye. The Russian president sat down with KBS TV to talk bilateral economic cooperation and the Eurasia Initiative.
Russian President Vladimir Putin gave a positive outlook of President Park Geun-hye's Eurasia Initiative that seeks to connect Europe and Asia, including both Korea's and Russia, into a single economic community. Putin says he hopes that many South Korean companies will participate in the project connecting the North Korean port of Najin and the Russian region of Hassan.
Вполне могли бы осуществлять другие перевозки, в том числе контейнерные, сыпучие грузы, это что угодно. Вопрос в потребностях промышленности Республики Корея известен.
The Russian president also showed great interest in projects aimed at connecting the Trans-Siberian Railway with the Trans-Korean Railway and linking the gas pipes of South and North Korea as well as Russia. With regards to inter-Korean issues, Putin said that cooperation between a unified Korea and Russia would be carried out on a completely new level.
Безусловно, поддерживаем стремление корейцев к объединению наций. Это естественный процесс. Но я исхожу из того, что он должен происходить исключительно мирным путем.
Today's summit will undoubtedly turn a new page of cooperation between South Korea and Russia.
Rival parties stand divided on introducing a special probe into irregularities arising from last year's presidential election. Opposition forces are fighting for it, but the ruling party has dismissed the idea.
The political opposition has gathered together for the first time since last year's presidential election. The participants, members from the Democratic Party and Justice Party, as well as independent lawmaker An Chol-soo, call for appointing a special counsel to investigate the alleged election interference.
특검과 국정원 개혁 특위만이 진상을 규명하고 재발을 방지할 수 있는 유일한 방법이라고 생각합니다.
They said about drafting a bill for a special probe into the election scandal. They also call for the resignation of National Intelligence Service Chief Nam Jae-jun and measures to prevent election meddling by state powers in the future. The main opposition Democratic Party says it can link the special probe request with the passage of next year's budget plan and other pending bills in Parliament. But independent lawmaker An Chol-soo is against this strategy.
국민이 원하지 않는 방법으로 목표를 관철하지는 않겠다는 협의도 필요합니다.
The ruling Saenuri Party criticizes the opposition coalition as a collusion to shift focus in state affairs.
우리 새누리당은 신야합연대가 주장하는 특검에 대해서는 결코 타협의 여지가 없다는 것을 분명히 밝혀둡니다.
Instead, the ruling party is looking to find ways to alter the law on preventing physical scuffles in the National Assembly. It says the Democratic Party is crippling the Assembly's operations by using the Violence-Free Parliament Act as its weapon.
Celebrity gambling scandals are nothing new. We've heard these stories like this for a decade. Add famous TV entertainers Lee Soo-geun and Tak Jae-hoon, as well as Tony An, to the list, whose reputation has suffered.
Comedian Hwang Gi-soon was one of the very first to be implicated of illegal gambling. He said he first began to do this as a small pastime activity to beat stress.
저는 단 한 번도, 아주 단 한 번도 도박이라고 생각해 본 적이 없어요. 그냥 재밌는 놀이고 내가 스트레스 푸는 거라고.
For celebrities, even their private lives can unfold before the public eye, and even a secret activity for entertainment can be a very tempting lure. Their irregular life patterns and uneven income structure, such as getting a sudden large paycheck, makes them more vulnerable to gambling.
연예인들의 삶이라는 것 자체가 좀 불안정하고요. 굉장히 그 환경 자체가 자극을 추구하고 쾌락을 추구하는 경향들이 있기 때문에.
There are also gambling brokers who intentionally approach celebrities. Those under investigation are now believed to have first started by betting on soccer matches for fun. But this eventually made an illegal turn as brokers joined in. Stars also have a tendency to return to the media fairly abruptly just after laying low for a short while, which may be another factor. More awareness on the gravity of illegal gambling must be raised.
It's a fact that 1 in every 4 deaths in Korea is caused by cancer. Korean researchers have identified a gene that may help prevent normal cells from turning cancerous.
Cancer is the #1 cause of death among Koreans. Scientists have claimed that there are some 50 types of genes in the body that suppress cancerous cells, but haven't been able to prove it so far. But for the first time, Korean scientists have confirmed that the RUNX3 gene suppresses lung cancer and prevents normal cells from becoming cancerous. And a lab test showed that a mouse that had its RUNX3 gene removed developed lung cancer nearly 3 times faster than an ordinary mouse. RUNX3 is the body's first line of defense against normal cells transforming into cancerous ones.
렁스의 기능을 저하시키는 여러 단계를 차단함으로 해서 선택적으로 렁스를 활성화시킬 수 있는 방법도 구상하고 있습니다.
Existing studies have been found on suppressing cancer after it has been developed. Even when undergoing treatment, cancer cells can grow if other cancer-causing genes resistant to drugs are activated. The latest study is quite encouraging because it provides new clues as to what hinders cancer cell proliferation from the early stages.
앞으로의 암 연구에 있어서 이제 재발이 되지 않는 이제 근원적인 치료가 가능해질 것으로 예상을 하고 있습니다.
These findings have been published in the leading scientific journal, Cancer Cell.
Today marks the 20th anniversary of the introduction of large supermarket chains in Korea. Here's a look at the revolution in distribution and the challenge big chains pose to Korean life.
Seo Yuna's family all go shopping together at a large supermarket. While their children read books in the book corner, the parents go over a pamphlet to thoroughly compare and check prices. In the past, the housewife usually went shopping for 1 or 2 days' worth of food alone. But with the arrival of large supermarkets, the shopping scene has now changed in a way where the entire family can hit the stores and gather a week or 2 loads of groceries and necessities. The popularity of large retailers is thanks to the affordable prices that they offer in bulk and by shortening the distribution process. But there are also side effects. The various discounts and deals, such as the buy one and get one frees, provoke impulsive buying.
이제 1+1이 많이 쌓이고 그러면은 욕심껏 또 막 또 사놓을 때가 있어요. 좀 후회할 때가 있죠.
Large stores also have their own private products and have even rolled out smartphone models. They also research technologies to store agricultural produce and making partial changes to the distribution structure.
농산물도 이제 경매가 되면서 이게 수요 공급에 대한 이게 경쟁을 하면서 나타나기 때문에 물가 조정이 안 됩니다. 그 기능을 대신해 주는 것이 대형마트에 이런 데가 이제 보완적으로 가고 있는 겁니다, 지금.
The large supermarkets have shaken up the distribution sector and the lives of people. They are now being urged to focus more on the interest of local economies and to achieve a win-win situation with its suppliers.
As life expectancies rise, some of society's brightest minds search for ways to improve the quality of our life in addition to quantity. Here's a look at government-sponsored efforts in that search.
The wheels turn slowly to match the pace of the person pushing the walker. It's a smart walker for the elderly or the disabled. The wireless machine can convert into a chair or even a wheelchair with a touch of a button.
세계 최초로 보행보조, 안기서기, 전동일처 기능이 한 제품에 구현된 것이 되겠습니다.
This motorized arm and hand can help an elderly person with a weak grip to hold a pen or a cup. Transportation means for the future have been introduced as well. There were electric bicycles that are available for the public to rent and a hydrogen-fueled vehicle that can go 100 kilometers on a liter of hydrogen. This one-man transporter is operated by shifting one's weight on the seat to indicate which way he wants to go. The two-wheeled transport device employs a technology that allows a person to keep one's balance without relying on a handle. It has already acquired a patent in the U.S.
현대 핸들형 같은 경우는 핸들에서 어느 정도의 무게 중심을 잡아주기 때문에 떨림 같은 게 없는데 핸들이 없는 제품은 중심 잡기가 좀 어렵습니다.
These new products are the outcomes of the research project sponsored by the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy and the Ministry of Science, ICT and Future Planning. Roughly 200 companies and research institutions have participated in the projects. Some of the products are ready for commercialization and will be in the market in the near future.
Have you ever heard of a forest kindergarten? It's a type of preschool education that gives children the freedom to frolic in the forest. Of course, there's more to it than that. Let's have a look.
The noise of children fills the forest in the morning. Clad in colorful hiking outfits, these kids are on their way to school. They arrive at something called a forest kindergarten. The only building here is a small shack. In reality, the entire forest is their classroom. It appears as if they're just playing, but each one of their activities is designed to teach them something. They learn arithmetic with leaves and draw on the ground with sticks.
이거는요, 새고요, 나무 두 개고요, 이거 산.
There are classes for singing and reading, but most of the time the kids are allowed to do whatever they want.
저희들이 준비해주지 않아도 이제 자연 환경이 매일매일 준비를 해주는 것 같은, 그래서 아이들이 그 속에서 매일매일 발견을 하는 거예요, 놀이를. 그래서.
Other kindergartens are joining this educational program. Students from around 10 conventional kindergartens visit this forest each week. 1 or 2 trips is all that's needed to see a difference.
여기 다니면서 되게 푹 자고 아무래도 낮에 활동을 되게 많이 하니까 그리고 좀 밝아졌어요. 많이 좀 찡찡대고 그랬었는데.
There are only about 10 forest kindergartens with all-day programs. However, 500 other regular ones are participating in this outdoor interactive program.
It's not so unusual these days to see a tapestry of fans from different countries singing popular Korean songs. A group of young fans from Europe recently staged a traditional performance in Jeonju.
2 young people sing the pansori song Chunhyanga. Although they are donning traditional Korean costumes, these two originally are from Belgium. They learned about pansori 5 or 6 years ago in Europe and were mesmerized by its beautiful tunes. Now their pansori skills are good enough to put up a concert in Jeonju, which is known as a center for traditional Korean music.
Pansori, c'est surtout une manière de raconter une histoire, et donc pour moi, je vois ça comme une manière intéressante et nouvelle d'aborder la scène. Pour moi, c'est un nouveau rapport avec le public que je connaissais pas avant. Voilà, c'est un rapport intéressant.
An impressive performance of Jindo Arirang fascinates the audience in no time.
처음에는 외국인이 아리랑을 잘 못할 줄 알았는데 직접 보니까 정말 잘해서 기분 좋게 봤어요.
The traditional Korean opera genre, pansori, and Korean folk songs first caught the attention of European musicians a decade ago.
Nous, qu'on travaille sur le pansori en France, qu'on le traduit, qu'on le surtitre, qu'on l'accueille, et ça a un grand succès. Et aujourd'hui, nous avons la chance de présenter 3 jeunes gens, français et belges.
The popularity of Korean traditional music is rising worldwide.
It's not easy for women with children to strike a work-life balance. Novel new employment services are there to help on 4 wheels. This unusual bus helps job-seeking homemakers find employment. It's an employment office on wheels providing job consulting services to women around the city. 2 buses each take on a 4-hour shift per day to give career advice.
임신과 출산, 그다음에 양육의 부담감으로 인해서 재취업을 준비를 못하셨던 분들이 이용을 하시거나.
The mobile job consulting service helps women find jobs in the fields they previously worked in. All the services are free of charge. The consultants can even find jobs in new fields. For homemakers unable to work full-time, there are part-time positions where women can choose their own working hours.
제가 이제 직장 생활을 하면서도 애들을 다시 저녁에 오후에 케어를 할 때 특별히 문제가 안 되는 그런 직종을 지금 찾고 있었거든요. 그런 게 어떤 게 있는지.
These kinds of part-time jobs are just what mothers with young children need. Starting next year, the government is to create more than 1,000 such part-time positions with the same welfare benefits as full-time regular jobs.
더 많은 여성들이 일을 하게 되면은 여성을 위해서뿐 아니라요, 우리 사회의 경제 발전에도 지속 가능한 성장을 위해서 굉장히 필요하고, 우리 사회가 여성의 창조력과 재능을 필요로 하고 있기 때문에 큰 도움이 될 걸로 봅니다.
Many married women with children had to give up their careers for their families. But now a growing number of companies have instituted re-employment programs to discover those untapped talents. This woman in her 40s used to work in a business support team before having her child. Now she's back working for a large conglomerate, beating out 17 other competitors.
결혼하고 임신하면서 회사 그만두고 육아에 하다가 지금 다시 6년 반 만에 입사하게 됐어요.
It didn't take her long to get used to the work. After all, she'd done it before she got married. Such programs are viewed favorably as they bring together homemakers in search of jobs and companies looking for skilled workers.
처음엔 걱정 되게 많이 했었는데요. 나이 차이 때문에. 들어와서 같이 근무하다 보니까 큰언니처럼 챙겨주시는 부분이 굉장히 많아서 좋은 것 같아요.
회사 입장에서는 경력이 오랜 기간 동안 단절되었다는 이유로 채용시장에서 소외받고 있던 우수한 여성 인력을 이번 인턴십을 통해서 채용하게 되어 좋은 기회가 되었고요. 그리고 주부 입장에서는 오랫동안 일을 하고 싶으셨으나 하지 못하셨던 분들인데 본인의 이전 경력을 살려서 다시 재취업을 하게 되시어 업무의 만족도가 굉장히 높습니다.
Many homemakers had to make the difficult choice of leaving their careers behind because of family obligations. But now there are several career restart programs like this, bringing back talented and experienced women into the workplace. Now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. That's it for this edition of News Today. We'll see you at the same time tomorrow. Have a great day.